Good morning. Happy Monday. And happy 4th of July week. Looks like the traffic and people are a bit sparse this week. So I hope you are getting ready to enjoy some family time, a brain break, I typically say. All right, so today, last week somebody had mentioned, I have a big list of things I want to talk about, and then I typically lose my list, and then I make another list and I lose that list. So I rarely have a running list anymore, until it comes up 3 times or so, and then I know that it's time to talk about it. And so last week another mom was talking about another family, and she said that mom thinks her child, what I think 5 or 6 or so, has anxiety, and the next step is probably medication. And I hear this all the time, so I am not really surprised anymore, but it's quite heartbreaking. And I just hope by the time that I'm not here on earth that the legacy of chiropractic and people practicing in the subluxation-based world will start to make a dent, because conversations like that make me think that we're maybe, I know we're making a dent, but we're not. The voice on the other side is a lot larger, it's a lot louder many times, and it has a lot more money. And that voice on the other side is the one that's looking for you to reach inside of that medicine cabinet, or, Google search and find all these diagnoses for your kids, and then start that process of medication. And I think that is, that's what makes me discouraged. If there's anything in doing this work that makes me discouraged and also lights a fire under me to have our voice be louder, stronger, is that one. Medicating kids, or needlessly medicating maybe. As soon as we diagnose our children, we stop thinking about the solution instead of the problem. And anxiety is lack of adaptability to life. It is not lack of a medication, Xanax, that is creating anxiety in your freaking kid. It's lack of adaptability. It's lack of reserves. It's the bathtub being too full so that when another stressor comes into play, or they perceive it to be another stressor, they don't know how to adapt. And they resort into their old pattern. Their old neurological pattern is what I mean. Not this kid is mean to me and this is what I do. But how do we change the pattern of that, instead of just continue to treat the symptom? Treating the symptom with anything other than what their body can do is never getting to the root cause of the problem. And so, a few things. Chiropractic's all about building your reserves and helping. It doesn't matter if you're a 1-year-old kid or a 70-year-old adult, but helping the body adapt to life. Bottom line, our kids nowadays are not adapting to life. They're frankly not even in situations to practice adapting anymore. And if we're stuck to, did I write about this, or did I talk about this at one point about shy kids and how we give them kind of an excuse to not interact? And if our kids aren't interacting, they're never going to grow. They're never going to know how to talk to people, as soon as you say shy, and I understand there's introvert, there's extrovert, there's definitely, what's the word I'm trying to say, for God's sakes, I can't think about it. We're definitely labeling our kids way too soon. And so a shy kid may not get their energy from people. That just means they're more of an introvert. That doesn't mean, though, that we keep them away from people and situations that make them feel uncomfortable. It's one thing to protect them a little bit and to not create the cascade, because parents know best. I 100% believe that. But if we're then thinking that the next step is a counselor or a therapist, a different kind of therapist, cognitive therapist, play therapist, a medication, sometimes we're just patching the problem instead of helping their body adapt. That doesn't mean that I'm very a strong proponent of cognitive therapy and many of those things, with a caveat: if the body is not receiving messages from the brain on how to exist in the world, that will have a more limited effect as to if it were a clear connection. And so think of the garden hose. As soon as we turn on that hose, if we have a kink close to the faucet, the water's not going to come out the end and water those flowers, right? And so the same thing with our kids. Like we can't keep planting more flowers, or we can't keep focusing on the flower part. We have to focus on the hose part to make sure the water's coming out to water the flowers and help that grow. So as parents, we have a really strong role. Much more than when we were young. I guess I don't even remember kids taking anything. I mean, 4-year-olds now are getting Tylenol for growing pains at night. So how can we help our kids be healthier? So, and that starts with us, and getting your mindset shifted into what else needs to happen for my kid not to be anxious, not to bite their nails, not to have tummy problems, not to avoid, because those are all just symptoms of how their body is changing and how their body is interacting to the world and what they deem is stress. And if we can continue to not label, not run to get the quick fix, the patch of the tire, because eventually it's a slow burn, right? If you patch the hole of your tire, eventually it's not going to hold, because we didn't get to the cause of the problem. We didn't replace the tire. And so these kids have everything they need. Their adaptability is extremely low. Their reserves are extremely low. They get stressed out. They get overwhelmed. They get panicked. Those are all really, really strong signs of nerve system being interrupted. And the only people that can address that is your family chiropractor. I have a lot more on this topic as little things that parents can do with mindset and focusing on growth instead of fear or lack, because really there's only two things in the world, love and fear, and how we act and how we lead our kids, how we lead our family, only comes from one of two places. Send some comments, or send me an email is what I was going to say, but write some comments, or if you have any questions, or if you know of anybody who this perspective could shift everything, and frankly it will change your family's life when you can start to see things from a different perspective and then take action. Without taking action, everything is just a unicorn dream. Unicorn dream? Yeah. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.